guys, I thought I'd make a video since I'm using this new product I got off Amazon. This is the HIMI Gouache paints. I think they come from China, and I swatched them, doing it differently. I did check out some videos on how people use and reviewed this product, and they're kind of cool. They come in like these jelly-like big giant cube packaging, kind of like a pudding or something, but I'm doing it differently. Everybody else takes off this top cover, but I'm keeping mine on. I just lifted the lid because I didn't want them drying out too quickly and getting dust or getting dirt in these things. So I thought, you know, for what I'm using it for, I barely use much. I just lift the corner and I stick my paintbrush in, and then I'll put it on a palette like this. And I'm not using tons because I'm just doing it in my travel journal. Working on this piece. This is supposed to be like a Gauguin-inspired Tahitian woman, because this entry is for my Tahitian trip that I did back in 2014. And so what I like about gouache is it's different than watercolor. You can mix it with watercolor. I have been mixing it with watercolor. But it is one of the things, white in watercolor is very difficult to get. And with gouache, you can get the white. So let me get this out of the way and show you what I mean. On this orchid here, I just decided that it needed, for composition wise, an orchid over here, so I'm just laying this down. And you can't, with watercolor it's the opposite. You have to go either use masking fluid or block this out, and you can't do that with watercolor with white. Unless you use something like bleed-proof white or Copic, this Copic stuff. But this you can blend because it's kind of like a cross between watercolor and acrylic. And it will reactivate. It goes on the colors, see, like this is really dark, way darker than I would normally do. I had trouble, and this is too light, but I'm afraid to mess that up because you know, it's my first gouache piece. I decided just to go for it instead of doing it on a separate piece of paper. I thought, well, I'll just do it in the book. So anyways, I'm going to now outline this orchid right here. If I could try to zoom in for you. But it overlays really nicely. And it doesn't, unlike watercolor, you know, this isn't dry and I'm still working on it. And you can't do that with watercolor because it'll bleed. This doesn't bleed. But I can take some white and mix it with my watercolor paints, and it does pretty good. Because it kind of then will give it like a slight tinting. And that's how I was able to do this right here. Unlike like here, I was trying to mix it on the palette and then put it on, and it just didn't dry very well. The colors that I wanted, it looks muddy, but that's okay. This is just, you know, really for me. I don't sell my work. I just like to do it. So this is just my book of travels, but anyways, there you go. And I just wanted to point out a couple things about this that the other videos didn't really say, but I kind of figured it out. They all say, oh, you get 2 whites and that's great, but the two whites are distinct. So this one is considered like a zinc white. I kind of, there's some Chinese here, and so I went to Google Translate to try to figure out what it was saying. And this is good. The Chinese white or zinc white is good for mixing colors and straight color. So this is your white. And it will, you know, it's good for tinting, and it does produce a nice clean color. As you could see, I just put that over this red that was there, and it sits on top. So it's great. Versus how I got this white here, this is the actual paper, and I just painted around it. And then there's this white here, and this is more for like a titanium white, and it's for highlights. So this will not mix well with other colors. It won't blend. Like, let's say a pink color, and you mix this white with red, it's not going to mix as well. So this one I didn't even open up yet. So I just kind of made a note to myself so that I would know which one to go for. But as you can see, they're a little, they dry matte. They look chalky, but they're not really chalky. See, if I rub my finger on it, it doesn't come up. They will reactivate with water though. And unlike watercolor, that's more transparent, this is opaque. But they do mix well with watercolor. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's how I was able to get really fine line detail. Otherwise, it's a little thick, and you don't want to water it down too much when you're trying to do your color mixing, because I don't think it's not like transparent like watercolor is, so it just doesn't look as good. It's streaky. See how this is streaky here? Because it's a thicker kind of medium. So anyways, but it's kind of a different look, and I still like it. I bought some at Michael's. I don't even know. Maybe I threw them out. I hated them. I didn't like that, but it was a low grade quality. This is also considered student grade quality, but it's fine for what I'm trying to do. I don't need large quantities of it. I'm just going to really use it as additional mixed media for my travel journal. So anyways. So would I buy this again? You bet. You get 18 beautiful colors. And it's a great way to try out gouache, and it mixes pretty well, like I said a few times already, with watercolor. And I just got to figure out the right water to paint ratio so that it doesn't come across streaky. That's it. So I'll keep playing with these things. And anyways, thanks a lot for checking out this video. Hope you liked it. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you will. Anyways, until next time, remember, life after 40 is good. And most importantly, so are you. Take care.